Alright, we're back with another rec review for Elephantologist, whose nickname here is Mitrailleuse. He's, I think, French. Let me reduce the sound. Alright, we're good. Alright, so we have the Malay here against the Ethiopians. On the map Arabia, it's change the point of view, and let's see what we can see. Alright, so you have 6 on sheep, you send 3 to wood, you got the boar, and then you send the 4, so you already, I think you have a build order here. Since you're doing it a little bit more complicated than otherwise. But now you have the sheep rotting, so maybe it would have been better to just send 4 to wood. You also got the house at a good time. And you got your second boar. It's a little bit outside your TC, but it's not a big deal. Alright, so you're bringing on your capybaras. You're doing a chicken meal, which is really good. I really like this. It's only 6 chickens though, so it's not that huge of a boost, but it's alright. It's good. And with your extra wood, you're doing a mining camp, so I'm guessing you won't go for archers or mana. You won't go for mana towns, basically. I also noticed something here, like your scouting pattern is not that good. It's very inefficient, because when you have to travel here and then back, like by the time you were here, you could have already like been at your enemy's base, which I'm guessing is here, right? Oh, you're actually closer than you think. Okay. This is a weird map generation. I think it's gonna take you a while to find him. But this scouting pattern is not very efficient. You can make it better. You also see his stone, by the way, so this is your second stone? What is your main stone? I don't think you found it. Oh, you found it, okay. So this is your main stone, this is your second stone. And on Arabia, extra stones are only 3 tiles. So when you see like a stone like this, like it's 4 tile stone, he's basically here. You know that he's either here or here. You know, you will know that he's very close. Because extra stones on Arabia are actually... I can find one. Here. It's only 3. These 2 are extra. And this one is the enemy, so his base should be close. His TC should be close. And the TC spawning pattern actually follows an orbital pattern. And there is a mod for this, actually. You can see an orb on the minimap, so you know approximately where your opponent's TC is. Most pros know this without even needing the mod. They know that the TCs are somewhere around this circle here. So basically his TC, since the stone is here, his TC should be like somewhere like this. So let's see where the game goes. This is a small scouting tip. Checking the idle town center. You had quite a bit of idle town center, so I think your build order could use some extra tightening, but it's actually, overall, it's normal for your reload. I think 30 seconds is normal for your reload. You have 4 wheels on the chicken. You only have 6 wheels on the wood. I would prefer to see a couple more there. And you're adding a few more wheels, which is okay with Malay, because you don't want to go up so fast with Malay. My guess is that you see it picked here. If you go too fast with Malay, you won't have resources to do anything. And always shift-click your wheels when they're on the last sheep. Just shift-click them. And this is actually... Okay, this is a bad way to actually... when you have like 6 idles or 5 idle wheels under your TC, it's always a good idea to like select them all, send them to the struggler tree, and then you can think about what to do, whether to add farms or to send a couple to berries or whatever. But while you're thinking, they will be like gathering resources. Just a small improvement there. Also, you sent 4 wheels to gold. Normally, you would never want to do that, and you also made like a very early mining camp. I would say that 2 to 3 wheels max. If you're going to send at the time that you sent wheels to the gold, only send 2 wheels. And then you will have your other 2 wheels gathered in wood, so you can afford the barracks and the range. The barracks is also a bit late. Since you're Malay, I think you want to get the barracks a bit earlier. So my guess is that you're going archers here. Let's continue. Oh, you also lamed some sheep. I don't think these are yours, or are they yours? Yeah, I don't think those were yours. Alright, that's fine. Now you can barely afford the barracks. Okay. And you're adding the 8 wheel to wood, so that's good. You should stop making... You should change your gather point here to wood. to the straggler trees again. Because 8 permanent wheels on wood is good. You don't want to assign wheels to wood and then have to assign them like to berries or someplace else. Usually once these wheels are assigned, you want to keep them there for maximum efficiency. But you got 1 range, that's good. You also got enough economy to afford a wood upgrade. You should get a wood upgrade here. Very, very important. I forget it also sometimes, but it's so important. Ooh, just stone walling. I'm not sure if I like this. I'm not sure if I like this. And these stone walls are not even that good. Like he could come here with archers and he would hit your gold and your wood. But if I was going to wall this map, I guess it's quite an open map, this one. Because you're so far away from the edge. This is okay, but I would not use stone walls. And I would be very mindful that this is a weak spot in my base layout. Alright, you're building a blacksmith with 5 wheels, which is too much, I think. But you already got a couple of archers. Let's see what your plan is. Another issue is that you're also not scouting very well. You are not scouting what the opponent is doing, whether he's on barracks or on a stable or on the scouts. But I'm guessing since he's Ethiopians, he will go for archers. Alright, let's see what goes. Let's continue watching. I will stay on your point of view just so I know what your thought process is exactly, more or less. These walls are not too bad. I would have preferred if they were like also inclusive for your berries. Like you made the first and second house here, you could have made like the other houses here, and you could have walled like this, and then like this. It would have been better. You would secure a second wood line, you would secure the berries, and you would have a little bit more space to work with. Alright, so you also got the double beat axe, that's really good. You have fletching. You're moving out with 3 archers. I don't like this. Okay. And where is your target now? Will you go to like wood or will you go to the gold? I wonder. You just hit the barracks, you told him that hey, I'm here. I want to fight, okay. This is not worth it. You had an archer, you're fine. Small inaccuracy, you were not paying attention. Okay. You're using your scout to scout what he's doing, which is good. He's still open, that's good. You are gonna stop him from taking gold, I guess. So since he has 0 wheels on gold, you should go around. You should continue going around. Maybe you'll find a mining camp or a lumber camp rather. Yeah, this is what you should do. You should continue going around. I just noticed that you have a lot of idle TC here. Like you should work on idle TC. I think it's the best change that you can do is working on your idle TC. I'll give you another tip. Like there is a hotkey for selecting all your TCs. You can just like be here, micro in your army, and you'll select all TCs and produce wheels, so you don't have to move away from your army. But this is something that you will have to work on. You're basically 6 or 7 wheels down by now. You could be 6 or you could have 6 or 7 wheels more. I think that is way better than actually killing wheels with these 3 archers. Just having the extra wheels. So you should work on that. You also have the food, so it's not like you don't have the food to produce. Alright, you also have adding archers. Naturally, I think your opponent is going to make skirms here, and he's going to give them defense and stuff. So the best thing to do here is to just like be active with your army, try not to lose it, and try to hit Castle Age before him. Because he's not on gold. He cannot go up, I think. He needs gold, unless he doesn't mark it, and it will be very expensive for him to go up, so you will have a slight edge. Continue producing archers, continue seeding farms until you have 13, or let's say 16 is maximum. If you're doing archers, 16 farms is maximum. You also have untaken berries. I guess the build that we're following the scout, you forgot to reassign them to berries. Now we assign them, so we're good. You're taking stone here. I see this a lot at Urilo, but I think taking stone right now is not it's not the move that will make the most sense. Because making a mining camp and assigning wheels to stone, and actually it's very expensive. You could be assigning more wheels to gold and just make a second range and make more army. But let's continue. The opponent does not have gold to click up, so he didn't click up, and you clicked up way before him. You will hit Castle Age way before him. I guess you only took the stone because you spent like a little bit of stone here for three tiles of stone. But I think it would have been more cost effective to just send a Vil, take the stone, and then he can bring it back to DTC, and then you can do something else with this Vil and with the 100 wood. You can even make a TC here later. You're basically at that stage of the game where it's better to make TCs than extra camps. Because a camp costs 100, the TC costs 275, but you can produce Vils from it, so it's better to make actually a TC here once you're up. Alright, let's continue. You're gonna hit Castle Age way before this guy, and he's not making the correct unit here. I think you should micro a little, but it's okay. Yeah, you could have microed this a lot better. Since you wrap, usually you don't want to lose your army when you wrap. You could have just like clicked away, click right here, and try to like run away until you get like your upgrades, Bodkin arrow and crossbows, and then you can take away better fight. You went back here, but I don't understand why you went back. He just showed you what he has. He doesn't have that much. Your army, once you had the timing with the crossbow and the Bodkin arrow, you want your army as close as possible to his base, so you can start attacking. And the best thing to attack when you guys are both doing archers, the best thing to attack is actually attacking the wood. If you attack the wood, you will prevent him from making more army, and you will also prevent him from getting ballistics eventually. So let's see what upgrades you prioritized. You did crossbow, which is correct. You did Bodkin arrow, which is also correct. You didn't get the wood upgrade. You're also stonewalling. Again, this is... I don't like these stone walls because instead of making all these stone walls, you're up so much faster than him. You could just like make a TC here. You're playing reactively, but not in a good way, because he could like send his archers right now to here and just kill your Vils on the gold. Basically, in Feudal Age you either commit to walling or you don't. And I think most of the cases it's better if you don't commit to walling with stone walls, but you commit to walling with like palisades. You could have walled this. Yeah, now that I see it, this is too far though. Yeah, you could have made like a palisade wall like this, just from here to the edge, and then you won't have to worry about your gold. You won't have to worry much about your wood. You get stone. You have two back wood line. You can just like start making army in the front, and you're fine. The best thing you could have done in Feudal Age is walling with a palisade wall from here all the way down to here. It would have been so good. Alright, let's continue. Now we have crossbow, but oh, why are you making pikeman? He doesn't have a cavalry sieve, and you didn't see any horses in his base, so I think pikeman is a waste. You should invest into the wood upgrade. You should invest into extra TCs. That's what I would have done. Because I think at your elo, it's really hard to finish the game early. It's better to actually get a small economy advantage and then eventually start popping out units. And judging by the message you sent you, it's also you also like to play cavalry, but with your sieve, I don't think you get good cavalry. So let's see what kind of choices you will do. You made the TC we talked about earlier. Again, this mining camp is a bit of a waste, but okay, let's go. You're making pikemen, I'm not sure why. Because you didn't see that he made any horses. And he doesn't have a horse sieve, so it makes no sense to make pikemen. If you need pikemen, it's better to just make a monastery and produce a couple of monks, and they will help you defend while you get your economy up. And then you can make pikemen eventually once you have enough farms. What I guess you did is that you saw that you have a lot of food banked up, and then you're like, okay, I need to make a food unit, but that's usually not good. It's better to invest into your economy upgrades and make extra TCs to actually spend that food on Vils. And this is like a mistake you did in Feudal Age by seeding too many farms. When you're playing archers, usually you want like with Malay, I'd say you want 14 farms. Once you hit 14 farms, you should stop. Until you start adding TCs, you can add more farms if you want. If you play a cavalry sieve, then it's a different story. Alright, let's continue. You are hitting a gate here, but it's actually open, so you can just like run in and fight him before he gets all the upgrades. Because I think soon he will just like chase you away. And you can see that he's open as well, like not like a secret. This heal is really good. You can use it to your advantage. Let's see how you use it here. You need to micro a little bit. Kite. Move, shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot. Yeah, you're not doing that. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. If you can't move, shoot, like I'm telling you, it's just better to just select your army and send them away. It's better than actually losing them. And you're on 2 TCs and your opponent just hit castless, so you should have a better economy. You should have a better economy here. Again, the pikeman doesn't make much sense. Neither for you, neither for him. You're on TTCs, that's good. You have a lot of floating resources. I'm guessing you also told me in the description that you wanted to hit Imperial Age way before him, which is a good idea. It's a good idea with Malay. Actually, in that case, the farms that you made actually make sense. They make a little bit of sense if you make this many farms to actually hit Imperial Age, and since Malay go up so fast, you can also get all the upgrades. So let's continue. But you're still actually producing from one range. Is this a hole? This is a hole, actually. You left a hole in your wall. Okay. So you spent a lot of stone for basically no good reason here. Oh, this castle is way too defensive. This castle is way too defensive. I get that. I think your thought process is that this side of your base is not very well protected. This side has stone walls, and this side has DCs, and this side is not protected. I would have preferred to see this castle on this hill. Yeah. I would have preferred to see this castle on this hill, or maybe even on this hill on the gold. It would have made more sense to make it on this hill, right besides the gold. And your civs can your vills can build it, they're safe. But okay, let's continue. Now you got the gold upgrade, because I'm guessing you're floating resources, and you have the building to click up, so you should be able to click up now. But you have too many vills queued up in the queue. You can already click up here. You don't need a building. The castle counts as 2 buildings, by the way, so you don't need a second building here. You don't need university, you don't need monastery, you just need to click. And one more thing is that you stop producing archers. So you're going fast Imperial Age. But by the time you hit Imperial Age, you won't have any mass. Because you stopped producing archers. And Malay hit Imperial Age super fast. So maybe by the time you hit Imperial Age, with one range, you're going to have like 12 archers. That is not enough to actually finish the game. So this game is going longer than I thought. You're doing handcart, why? You can click up, right? Oh, you queued it. Okay, this is a typical mistake. I make it as well sometimes, but not when I'm not under pressure like this. Alright, so this is unfortunate, I guess. And in the meantime, I'm guessing your opponent is on 3 TCs, okay. It makes sense, he doesn't have to deal with your army. But you can see that he has a lumber camp here, so you can hit his lumber line. Like as I said, if you guys are both doing archers, it's always good to hit his wood. Hitting the wood is way better than hitting gold. You hit the gold when they're going knights. This is the rule. You want to hit their gold when they're going knights. You want to hit their wood line when they're going archers or skirmishes. Alright, now you're doing okay, now you're trying to do too much at once. So since you went for the fast Imperial Age approach, I believe that it would be better to just like make arbalest and play with arbalest. Now you have a castle, you have stables, and you have a range, so you're kind of spreading your attention here. And you only have like 17 farms. It's not like you can, even though the Malay elephants are cheap, it's not like you can produce a lot of them. You're also getting the armor. I don't like this. Your setup does not allow you to get elephants effectively. And one more thing, you also saw him back in Feudal Age when you guys were fighting here. You saw that he had a lot of pikes. So I think, yeah, he had a lot of pikes. So I think elephants don't make sense. Because Castle Age pikes can trade well against elephants, they're massed. But I think Arbalests with Bracer and Chemistry can fight really well against Castle Age skirms. Since you have extra range, you can kite. You will always get better trades. Alright, let's continue. Now you're also... Okay, wait. This is a super expensive upgrade, Thumbring. And you need the food for producing elephants. So... You can see what I'm saying. You divided your attention too much here. You're trying to do everything at once, and in the end, you will end up doing nothing well enough to actually win the game. The second castle I like. Elephants, as I said, like elephants with Malays is not a good idea. You want to end up on a combo like archers against a cavalry civ. You want to end up on archers and the pikemen, and halberdiers. And against a civ like this, who can do archers and skirmishers, you want to end up on archers, arbalests, and Karambits. In case they do a lot of skirmishes, Karambits is really good. And Karambits actually get defense for free. So we already have full defense on the Karambits. Elephants is bad with Malay because, yes, they're cheap, but they only have one defense. So it's not really that good of a unit. We also got Arbalest, so you're spreading your resources too thin here. And you should be ahead in economy by now. Even though you're winning this fight, but I think it rated well enough with you. Now you got the bracer, that's good, but you're okay. Now you have 3 energies. Okay, now it's looking not so bad, but you have to micro. You have to micro this. You can't let them get close to you. The advantage you have is that you're far from them. Yeah, you have to micro this. I think this is the 3rd time I see that you don't micro. You should micro it. It's an important part of the game. Just like hotkey these, like you would hotkey your scout in Dark Age. Use the same hotkey as you do in Dark Age for the scout. Use it for your main army, which is the archers here, and just micro them back and forth. And again, if you stop right here, you can recognize that better than making elephants, Karambits actually kill everything that he has. Karambits kill skirmishers, they kill pikemen, and they can tank well for your arbalest against crossbows because they get the last armor for free. So if I was in your position, I would just make Karambits and win the game within 4 minutes. I think I would win this game. They also produce so fast, so it's a way better unit than actually making elephants. And I think you recognize that elephants are not... Okay, never mind, you're adding elephants. Let's see how that goes. You're also adding farms, which is good. You're floating a bit of wood, but it's okay. And now your opponent is up, and he's up with a way better economy. So this is the 2nd time. Like, you went to Castle Age way before him, but you didn't do the damage, and then you went to Mitrailleuse way before him, but you didn't do the damage. And again, you're not microing these guys. You should micro and try to snipe pikemen. And you should definitely mix in some Karambits. Another thing is, as soon as I see this castle, I would make trebs. I would make 2 or 3 trebs, and then continue to make Karambits. Again, you're not microing. I think if you learn a little bit of basic micro, it will help you a lot here. Maybe it's your biggest mistake this game, because it's the 4th time that I see you lose army without like giving him a good fight. This is fine, you're traveling him from a distance, you have a mass, but I think from this point on his economy is a bit hard to stop. He's also producing way better than you. Crossbows and his arbalists have a bonus, they attack faster. And he's gonna have more upgrades than you very soon. You have 3 castles, right? Yeah. Yeah, at this point, like, you need to make skirmishes. Nothing you have will beat this army. He just has like too many crossbows and he's producing them so well. I think you need skirmishes here. And it's usually a good idea to get skirmishes against the Civ, like Ethiopians or Britain. It's almost always a good idea to get skirmishes. Yeah. It's gonna be a hard fight. Yeah, it's just going to overwhelm you now. And by now, if you don't have like a mass of Karambits, it doesn't make sense to actually make them this late into the game. I think despite you having 2 castles, it's gonna be hard. And he has 0 castles. It's gonna be hard to win. Yeah, you're making Karambits, but it's a bit late. If you made this instead of elephants, you would win. I think you would win 98% or 99%. You would win. But now he has a big army with a lot of upgrades. It's gonna be really hard to fight. You got elite, you got all the upgrades, but yeah, you waited for him to mess this much arbalests, and it's gonna be... I think he's gonna win this fight. He also has like pikemen. You do well against pikemen, but actually pikemen buy him time. So while you're fighting pikemen, he's shooting you with his DPS unit. There is a good concept in RTS games which is called like DPS unit. This is your damage per second unit, and these units do most of the damage. The units in the back line. That's why usually in late Imperial Age you want the back line and the front line. Alright, let's continue. Yeah, you just lost everything. I think it will be a soup from here on. From here on out. He's also taking all the extra resources. You're trying to run some wheels around, but I think you could have done this a bit earlier. It would have been better. Now it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make much sense. Yeah, again, you switch to elephants, but yeah, the game is already over. GG. You said GG twice. So yeah, I think the biggest mistake here is that you You don't want to micro. You should try to micro a little bit. I think you didn't micro once here. And then twice here, actually. Once in Feudal Age, once in just before you hit Castle Age. And you didn't micro here, and you didn't micro here. This is the first mistake. The second mistake is your idle wheels in Feudal Age. You had a lot of idle TC. You could work on that. Again, as I said, like an easy fix would be to just like put a hotkey on select all TCs, and then you can just like select all TCs and make villages mechanically. You don't even think about it. Like every few seconds, you make wheels, make wheels. All right, I think those were your biggest two mistakes. Maybe another mistake was that you spread your attention too much. I think if you instead of making stables, you could have just made ranges and massed Arbalest before he got to this mass. It would have been better. And then if he has like Arbalest, you can just like make skirmishes. This is maybe the third mistake. So yeah, hopefully I'm not too harsh on you. I'm just like trying to give you a good feedback. So yeah, if you have any feedback for me as well, please don't hesitate. If I'm like if I'm talking too fast or you can't understand me, or please, it will be helpful for me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you